Hi, this is Ishan from RevSportz. You're tuning in for the morning show, teeing off with RevSportz. It's been an action-packed IPL week. A lot has happened. And before we get to it, let me introduce my guests. We've got Bharat Ramaraj joining us, Raja Raman, and a debutant today, Vaibhav Tripathi. So I think it's only fair we get started off with the debutant. Vaibhav, I hope you're doing well. And, there were two matches that took place yesterday. We'll talk about match number one. So just tell me your highlight of match number one and who do you think was that impact player?
Hi, it feels great to make a debut, and it makes my job a little bit easier with the more seasoned campaigners in you, Bharat sir and Raja sir already there. So yeah, talking about the first match, I think my impact player was Mohit Sharma, only because of the way he operated with his cutters and all those variations coming into the play. I think he was the standout bowler for me because the pitch was assisting spinners a bit more. On that wicket to pick 3 wickets and to emerge as the best bowler. I think Mohit has been a revelation since he has joined GT in 2022. So I think Mohit with his cutters, the way he picked that Abhishek wicket, it was a seam up delivery, but because the pitch was slow, it was sluggish. So Abhishek couldn't time the ball, and it was I think he got out on the while playing a shot towards the short cover. So yeah, for me, Mohit Sharma, the way he operated with his slowers, off cutters, back of the hand, I think he was the standout for me.
Yeah, very true. And Raj, a good point there. And it proves that age is truly just a number because you're someone who's been around for a while and he's consistently coming back, giving those performances that his team needs. So, a word on Mohit Sharma as well, because again, like Weber mentioned, an impact player who can win you matches from anywhere.
I will take okay. So Mohit Sharma is someone with him has developed a great muscle memory in terms of slower balls. That's what I would say. He has repeated that same skill so many times that I think he knows what lines to ball, what lengths to ball, the kind of angles he has to ball. So I think that is where experience comes into the equation, the wisdom of experience, because he's bowled so many overs. He's played so much under pressure in the IPL. So all those things do matter. I do genuinely do believe that India can still have a look at him for the T20 World Cup. For a stopgap option, they can look at him as, especially in the conditions that we are going to see in the West Indies, that his slower balls might really work. Basically, slower short balls are wired in his bowling.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yes. And Raja, the Sunrisers team could not really fire with the bat, yesterday afternoon like they did the other night. What went wrong for SRH in your opinion? And how do you think, was it just the expectations of giving another 200 plus performance that got to them?
No, I think Ishan, SRH is too experienced. They understand that the track in Ahmedabad was very different to the track that they played on in Hyderabad when they got that record score. But really speaking, they needed to assess the conditions slightly better and recalibrate. I think if you're looking for 200 on a 180 run wicket or a 190 run wicket, you're looking for 220 plus, then you're going to lose wickets in a clutch. And that is what happened. And not a single batsman stayed long enough to get to that half century. I think so many of them got starts, but while they understood the conditions, they came under pressure and conceded their wicket. Of course, Mohit Sharma bowled brilliantly, as did Rashid Khan. I think credit to Gujarat Titans for understanding the nature of the track and bowling according to it, and then batting really well. I think where SRH went wrong is in believing that they could get past the 200 run mark one more time. You need to assess the conditions and play accordingly. I think SRH made that mistake.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. I think Sai Sudarshan and David Miller played their parts as well. We'll move on to match two. Weber, Delhi Capitals versus CSK. We've spoken about Prithvi Shaw together in the past, you and me. Prithvi Shaw came back yesterday after a while. He's had a decent performance. So your first impression of Prithvi Shaw coming back into the IPL. Weber, are you there?
I think there seems to be a lag, and I don't think it's
Uh,
connected on the audio. While we can see his video, I don't think it's connected on the audio. I'll
or,
take that. It was
yeah.
good to see Prithvi Shaw score all those runs that he did. But yesterday, it was more about David Warner scoring at a fast clip and
Hmm.
Rishabh Pant getting that half century. I think weight will be off his back. It'll give him a lot of satisfaction that he could get that half century yesterday and put Delhi Capitals in a winning position. I think he led the team really well as well. But we can all be happy for Prithvi Shaw primarily because he got among the runs and he didn't try to outpace David Warner. I think he played a
Yep.
smart there and got those runs that he did.
Yes, and Bharat Rishabh Pant has made an impact as well. He didn't really perform in the first two games, but he's come back strong. Just because he didn't perform in the first two games, there were already questions that were being raised, which is fairly unfair in my opinion. But he's managed to give out a good performance in the game against CSK. So that's good news for Indian cricket overall.
Yeah, see, he has been out for so many months, 15, 16 months. So you can't expect him to suddenly come back into the game and score some 50 or 20 balls. It's practically impossible. So obviously, it took him a couple of games. Even yesterday's game, it took him a while, 23 or 23 deliveries. He was on 23 or 23 deliveries. Then he found his range. See, Rishabh Pant is someone, obviously, he has the pyrotechnics, he has the skills to play all those one-handed shots or whatever, or square leg mid wicket. He can do all these things. So it's something that suddenly won't go away from his game. It would be there, but yeah, it takes time because he's been unfortunately out of the game for so many months. And it was good to see that he found his range. For a while, he struggled. I've wondered whether this kind of bad form will continue, but it was good to see him showing that kind of mental strength to wait through that small period or wait through that particular period and get back to some form. I also want to talk a little bit about Khalil Ahmad. I think he bowled really well yesterday. You always feel that you will get a little bit of movement in Vizag. I don't exactly know what exactly is the reason. Maybe it's close to sea or whatever. But Khalil Ahmad used that little bit of moment really well. The way he bowled to Rachin Ravindra, everything going away from him, away from the left-hand batsman. It's something that's a strategy that has kind of worked against Ravindra even in Test cricket. Pat Cummins has used that nicely. So it is good to see Khalil Ahmad bowling really well. I think he's a good bowler, someone who can go round the wicket, over the wicket, change angles. Yeah, it didn't work out for him when he played for India. Hopefully, he can come back in the equation as far as playing
Yes.
for India is concerned.
Yep, sure. And I think Weber has joined us back. Weber, we were speaking about the Delhi Capitals batting lineup. No, I think he's still having a network issue here. Can you hear me, Weber? Okay, I think he's still having a network issue. Raja, I'll come to you. Chennai Super Kings went out to bat and somehow they lost that game, but MS Dhoni's, innings was the highlight. And, I've seen you speak on this before as well, where you mentioned that fans these days are more interested in the player rather than the game itself. So, with all the experience that you've had over the years, does this disappoint you in a way that a particular fan is more interested in just seeing a player rather than the final result? And I can see a smile in your face, so I'm excited to know the answer.
Yeah, it's interesting, Ishan, to study how the fans have evolved. Why the fans? Even we have evolved. As journalists, we have evolved. The focus seems to be on individuals rather than on team performances. But fans, I understand, primarily because franchises are also selling their fans, their leading cricketers. You look at the broadcaster, you will see a Dhoni's photograph rather than Rituraj Gaikwad photograph being shown as the captain of the side. So when we are hard selling, it's only natural that fans fall for cricketers, and we have to accept it, Ishan. In my 40 years, I have seen the transformation. If I were not to accept the transformation, I would be very irrelevant. We have to accept how society has changed. We have to accept how fans have changed, and act accordingly. I think it's important to. It works both ways. Fans make demands, and we supply whatever they are demanding. At the same time, we also temper them down with some conversations around how cricket remains a team sport. Look at Dhoni's knock yesterday. Everyone went gaga because the master was playing what he's known to do. But he's playing from memory. He's not the same Dhoni he was 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago. But he commands that kind of respect. Uh, this was a home game for Delhi Capitals, but you could hear the fans shout Dhoni, Dhoni, Dhoni. So we have to accept that this is what IPL is all about. This is what modern day sport is all about. It is about heroes. It's about individual performers rather than team performances. See, this is a short-lived tournament. We don't remember what Delhi Capitals did in that last game or the game before because they won the game last night. So this is what IPL is all about, and we've got to accept it. It doesn't matter what I used to think all those years ago. What matters is how society has evolved and whether I accept that evolution or not. I think we all have to accept it. That modern fandom, modern spectating is very different. Every time the camera pans on a fan, he or she is jumping up in the seat. Now, it never used to happen. I'm more used to polite applause. But cricket spectating has changed. It's almost become like football now.
Yep, I couldn't agree more, Raja. And I think it's important to stay relevant with time. Bharat, Dhoni's performance once again, would you agree with what Raja is saying first up? And, after that performance, on social media was flooded with Dhoni should bat up the order, send him on top. Do you agree with that? Or do you think he's fine batting below?
See, Dhoni has his own mind, perhaps he also feels that is his best position to bat at, and you also have to remember yesterday at least the ball was doing a bit up front, so not very sure whether they want him to go up the order, especially looking at the kind of batting lineup they have. Yeah, Daryl Mitchell is struggling a bit somewhere in the middle order, so that might be a case for Dhoni to be used as a floater in that sense. So yeah, that's for CSK to decide. It's something that can be done, especially looking at how Daryl Mitchell is struggling to get going somewhere in the middle order. See, as far as fan wars are concerned, fans are concerned, you can see it on Twitter itself or some Instagram or somewhere. Rohit Sharma fans are going after Virat Kohli's fans, and Rishabh Pant's fans are going after somewhere Virat Kohli's fans. Yeah, this is something that's how fans react these days. So for them, the players are the superstars, demigods. So yeah, in a way, if you look at it from a connoisseur's point of view, you can say that is not a great sign, but that is how the society is, as Radha sir said. That's how the what society how society evolves. You just have to cater to their needs. So that is how the fans react these days. I see a lot of funny fan wars on Twitter, Instagram, and you can see that for them. Basically, for a Virat Kohli fan, he lives through or she lives through that. She lives through Virat Kohli himself. So that's what you basically see. Whatever Kohli does, let it be in the morning or somewhere in the evening, whether he's practicing in the nets, they just follow the players more than the team. That's how it is.
Yep. Yes, Bharat. And, Raja, another emerging fast bowler that suddenly burst into the scene is Mayank Yadav. We have to talk about him a bit because he's become almost an overnight sensation after that bowling performance. So, Mayank Yadav to you, he's someone who's running in fast, bowling quick, and it's not easy to bowl 150 plus on a consistent basis. So, I think all of us were kind of taken aback seeing that sort of pace being generated.
Um, Watching him on television is what surprises everybody. But those who have seen him already, seen him bowl in domestic cricket, seen him bowl in Delhi, seen him bowl for the Ranji Trophy side, know that he's a quality bowler. Someone like a Vijay Lokpally, very, very senior cricket writer with more than 4 decades experience, wrote about him a year ago, saying that please look out for Mayank Yadav and what kind of a bowler he can be. And similarly, T.A. Shekhar, one of India's most respected fast bowling coaches, also picked the lad. He said he'd watched him bowl in under 25 cricket, and then his tweet is aged so beautifully. So there are people who are watching these cricketers coming through the ranks and then shining. But IPL gives them the platform to be seen by a larger audience. I think that is what this sensation is all about. IPL gives them the fearlessness, the freedom to be fearless, and then go out and express themselves the best they can. To turn a game on its head the way he did, Punjab Kings would not have expected that kind of a express bowler to be thrown at them. They will look like they were cruising to victory, and then to see him bowl the way he did and bowl brilliantly. His challenge, though, Ishan, will be to be consistent, to be delivering similar performances again and again. We have seen how many of us have been critical of some of the fast bowlers who have emerged from IPL, played for India, but have not been able to deliver the kind of performances there. We have been very critical of them. So we'll have to be patient and see what kind of consistency this boy is capable of. But yes, he needs to be nurtured well by the powers that be, and then blooded into the Indian side at the right time. You can't be delaying his entry because somebody is really performing well. So it's going to be interesting to track his journey in the road ahead.
Yep, that's true. And Bharat, I know you for a fact as well have been following Mayank Yadav, and you've always been the person who's broken down the pace barrier and how he ends up bowling so quickly. So I think all our viewers as well would like to know, how is he bowling so quick, and what's the future for him looking like?
Yeah, see, Mayank Yadav last season I saw, not in 2022, in 2023 I saw during domestic cricket, he was certainly bowling fast. Obviously, there were no speed guns, so you can't say whether he was bowling 155 or 156, but he looked like a 145 plus bowler, at least around 150. Yeah, see, Mayank Yadav, yes, is someone who bowls at 150 consistently, would have enough of fast twitch fibers or fast twitch muscles or whatever they say, type 2 fast twitch muscles. Someone like Neeraj Chopra definitely would have plenty of it. So he's an athlete. That is why he's able to explode through the crease the way he does. Something that a bowler who bowls at 135 kph can't do it. I think that is where he generates some of his pace. Yeah, you look at his wrist as well. I think he generates a little bit from there. That little bit of flick of the wrist that he does. That is how I think he generates most of his pace. And the thing with Mayank Yadav is he's not very tall, but he's quite a bit taller than Umran Malik, and with a high release point, he hits the pitch hard, and I think that gives him a little more buffer when it comes to bowling, especially in T20 cricket, because when you get that little bit of bounce and the ball is sitting high up on the splice, it's not very easy for a batter to land the shots. And while for someone like Umran Malik, he has to bowl a little bit shorter to get that kind of bounce because he's a little more skiddier through the air. I think that is what helped Mayank, at least in that last game. Even when he offered some width, the batters were not able to land the big shots because the ball was bouncing a little more than expected from a slightly fuller length. I think that is one of Mayank Yadav's USP that can be used somewhere in Australia or South Africa. Obviously, I'm not saying straight away pick him in a Test 11, but somewhere in the future he could become really useful in those conditions.
No, you're right. I think it will be really exciting to see how he evolves as a bowler and goes on to eventually play for India, hopefully. But I think he'll also have to stay injury free, which is very important. So the right grooming is needed, and if he does that, I think he's really going to touch the stars. Raja, moving aside from cricket a bit here, Hardik Singh, Salima Tete have won Player of the Year award in the hockey section. So how does that make you feel? And a word on them?
It's very important to celebrate good performers. But like we keep saying, this is a team sport, and hopefully the rest of the team will celebrate the choices made by Hockey India as well, and recognize that Hardik has played a very, very important role in the Indian team and is the fulcrum at the moment, as is Salima Tete. She's had a brilliant qualifiers, Olympic qualifier. Unfortunately, India didn't make the grade to the Olympic Games, but these are players who need to be celebrated. I'll take just one more moment to bring you and the viewers' attention to a couple of points that around Olympic sport that I want to make, Ishan. One is Abhinav Bindra was in Chandigarh, and as Boria has written in his piece today, he spoke to the shooters. He was motivating the shooter from a room next to the ICU where his father is admitted. That is what sport is all about. That is the hand-me-down that we are seeing from Abhinav Bindra to the shooting contingent at this point of time is truly amazing. And the other thing I want to make is other point that I want to make is Mirabai Chanu stages a comeback. She's going to be competing in just a few hours from now, and hopefully she will seal that Olympic qualification and be in line to win a second Olympic Games medal. She's had a back injury. She's been out for 6 months. We keep talking about how Rishabh Pant has come back from injury and he played that knock that he did yesterday. So Mirabai Chanu will be another one who's coming back from injury and whose journey we at RevSportz will be tracking. Kannan has already written a piece, and I'm sure it's going to be up on the site sooner than later. But what we are going to see is a truly remarkable effort, both by Abhinav Bindra from next to the ICU room where his father is, and in just a few hours from now, Mirabai Chanu with weightlifting.
Thank you, Raj. I think it's just commendable in both these aspects, and it's just a lesson that the show must always go on. So, on that note, it's been a fascinating session. Thank you to both my guests for joining, and thank you for everyone who's tuned in. Unfortunately, we lost Weber, but we'll have him back for sure. Do not worry, and we'll catch you tomorrow morning as well. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. This is Ishant Shani from RevSportz signing off. Thank you.